Hi, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of Coffee with Kevin. Just get the caffeine flowing here. Okay, so I wanted to kind of do a little different take on the Knowledge 23 wrap-ups that you've been seeing. It's kind of the unwrap version. Knowledge 23, ServiceNow's annual conference was awesome this year. It was big, thousands of people, tens of thousands of people, so many sessions, labs, uh, great people to talk to, connect with, reconnect with. It was great seeing everyone in person, being able to have that personal connection with people that you've been doing Zoom meetings with for years due to the pandemic was a great time. And it's just an awesome event put on by ServiceNow. I want to kind of recap some things. You've probably seen a lot of recaps, so I'm not going to go into everything. There's a lot of recaps out there. ServiceNow did a great recap themselves, just of the main topics that were covered. I'm going to do a quick blast through those and give my own take on those, and then also talk about some and actually raise some questions. I want to ask some questions of you and the ServiceNow community and see if we can get some discussions going and some feedback. So, first off, the conference itself, main takeaways. If we look at the keynotes and we build from there, the three keynotes, the first one, really got an idea of where ServiceNow was going. They have a new focus, servicenow.org, for nonprofits. They're putting some nonprofit specialization in front of that. Really looking to reach out. They have some great nonprofits already signed up. ServiceNow, one of the biggest things about nonprofits is you want to maximize all the dollars you get, right, and your efficiency. ServiceNow is a great tool to be able to help those organizations be able to create different applications, use current applications to streamline the process and make those nonprofits efficient. And not only efficient for the nonprofit itself, but any contributors and any benefactors of those. So great to see them stepping into that space. Can't wait to see where that goes. Can't wait to see what they do with that. The next piece, next gen. They're kind of reskilling of workforce. Where they're looking at getting people into the ServiceNow community, training them, getting them ready for ServiceNow work. And huge focus and a lot of sessions around their next gen program and their cohorts that have either come out or are going into that program. Again, I think a great program, kind of almost like an apprenticeship to build your own workforce. And also just great to see the organizations that they touch with that, not only people looking to reskill and change career paths, but also someone coming our veterans out there or coming out and just stepping into a technology role like this. So again, huge program, looking to put a million people into the workforce with those skill sets. I think it's also a great program that they're doing with that. The next keynote and a big piece, and everyone's kind of buzzword these days, is AI, right? They talked about generative AI, which is what we're really stepping into here, and kind of shorten that to Gen AI. But they did it from a standpoint of kind of calming people's fears from, hey, is AI going to take my job? Right? Am I going to have a job after AI? And really looking at how can AI help make things more efficient, right? So that's what this is really all about. Not only for developers in the system potentially there, but also people working the front lines, working customer service, working, incidents. There's a lot that can be applied there. And really the AI aspect, and even can look to the just the kind of dawning of the internet and everything there. All of these really just allow you to take the next step. Okay, it's not necessarily taking your job, but it's allowing you to do something different, something further that AI just can't do, right? So it is artificial, so you do have to train it and whatnot. So but it was great to see where they're trying to start leveraging that in the system. And that was a big focus. Now, obviously, it's a big focus amongst a lot of partners, a lot of technology partners, a lot of people out there, right? And just wondering what this whole thing is really going to amount to. And then the last keynote, I'm going to hold off. There was an ex prime minister from New Zealand that spoke, and she was phenomenal. But I'm going to hold off on that. I'm going to bring that around at the end. So those are kind of the big main focuses on the keynotes, and that filtered through a lot of the sessions, at least that I was in. Looking at how can different parts of the system leverage AI. How can you broaden that? What does that really mean in the different applications, right? What does that mean for an HR application? What does it mean for a legal service delivery application? What does that mean for, incident management? All of the different areas. So that's definitely a lot of the kind of buzz around it. There was also a lot of buzz around, GRC and managing risk. There's a lot of new regulations coming out. Obviously, we here at Fusion 3 focus a little bit on GRC and BCM. So I was in a lot of those sessions, but there was also just a lot of buzz in the hallways talking about that and how the tool is actually helping them there. There's just, every release of every application is just steps forward for ServiceNow. I think the pace at which is coming is incredible for an organization of that size to just keep putting out more and more innovation. And that's kind of where I want to discuss. I think, in talking to a lot of people, either in my labs, my sessions, in the hallways, on the expo floor, there was kind of a general uneasiness of being able to keep pace really with ServiceNow themselves as they release new applications, new features for the applications you're already using. A lot of people can barely get an application implemented, and then the new feature sets coming out, and they're trying to implement that. So there's definitely a rapid pace, which from ServiceNow's standpoint, I think is great. The innovation is phenomenal. I think it's just keeps them on the forefront and on the bleeding edge of the technology. But I'm curious, how do you feel as far as the pace and being able to keep up with that, right? Being able to maximize what you've already implemented or what you've already bought and paid for with the licensing, and being able to really maximize that and get the full value out of that before trying to jump into something else or before trying to take advantage of the next innovation that's coming out there. I think there's definitely a lot of people that I talk to that are not necessarily struggling to keep pace, but definitely it's fast and furious for them. So I'd be curious to get any kind of feedback from people on that, because I think a big piece is really getting that ROI out of the platform, right? Coming in, getting that implementation done, getting it out there, getting the end users working in it, getting that return, and being able to do that while also keeping pace with the new versions coming out, the new versions of each application coming out, and being able to keep those upgrades going and those updates going. Can you really digest it all? I guess is really what I'm asking you. Is it drinking from a fire hose, or is it still palatable where okay, yeah, it's actually a good pace, we can keep pace. It's probably going to vary depending on the size of the organization and also the size of your ServiceNow team, but I'd like to get some feedback on that question. There were also a lot of questions in my sessions asking if certain things that were being demoed were out of the box. I think there's a lot that's configurable in the system, and I think that's one of the powers of ServiceNow, and then what we all like about ServiceNow is that you can really configure it to do anything. But I also feel that and it might be related to my first question on pace. I think there's a need for more out of the box functionality when you're shown a demo or whatnot, really being able to see what's truly out of the box. What am I really getting out of the box? Because I really only have time to implement this pretty much out of the box. So, are we going to get there? Is it going to be fully there? Right. So there were a lot of questions from various or people from various organization sizes, various enterprise sizes, asking those questions. And I think that's coming from an area of wanting to be able to just put it in and go, at least at a good baseline, and then come back and enhance it later. So again, question there as far as, are you looking for more pieces to be out of the box, or are you good with the level of configuration that needs to happen with certain applications in order to really take advantage of them, right? And really make them pay off in your organization. Just a few questions in there. Just want to get, kind of your feedback of some vibes that I was feeling in talking to people throughout the week out there. The last piece I wanted to touch on was the last keynote. It was the Right Honorable, I want to get this right. It was the Right Honorable Jacinda Ardern. She was ex-New Zealand Prime Minister, and she joined us at Knowledge, and it was a great discussion. I think one of the pieces is going back to the pace of ServiceNow, of life in general. I think she started to really drill into, and I think that we, between social media, LinkedIn, whatever it is, I know you're watching this on LinkedIn, but I think what we're really looking at is, and one of our messages was, it's okay to be tired, right? And one of our messages was, get sleep. So I think we tend to measure against what we see, right? And we have to keep up. We have to be happy all the time. We have to be doing more, right? And we're constantly looking at a filtered life through that lens. And I think we want to step back and let's start looking at real life, right? Real life, people get tired. Real life, people have bad days. They're going to post about it? Probably not. But it happens, right? And know that that's happening, even if they're not sharing it, it's happening, right? And show that empathy across that, because all of this that we're trying to do with ServiceNow, with these implementations, with all of this work, with bringing better workflows to employees, et cetera, really has to be done with that empathetic lens on it. And really, really saying, it's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to be tired. It's okay not to have 9 side hustles. It's okay, right? It's not, you don't have to be doing all of that. And really be real about that. And I thought it was interesting that she was there to speak to that larger crowd, because I think we all feel that way. We feel like if we're not posting, if we feel like if we're not, commenting on the latest thing or the latest wrap up, although I'm asking for comments, if we're not keeping pace with all that, are we doing enough, right? We don't feel like we're doing enough. We have it running through our head. Oh, I should have done this. I should have done that. I should have done this. And just every now and then, just take some real check-ins, right? Because if we all get spun out, we all get tired, none of this is going to be effective, right? And we'll just burn out, quite honestly. So just take away on that. That was the last keynote, on the last, the third keynote, and it was very interesting. She was a great speaker, and just very engaging. So I took away quite a few things there, and maybe you can take away something from what I just said there. But that's my Knowledge 23 wrap up. If you want to hear more, definitely feel free to reach out to me, connect with me, comment, celebrate, whatever. I definitely can share more, but there's also some great wrap ups from ServiceNow out there. The knowledge content is now available online, so you can go watch some of the sessions, listen to some of the sessions, and see some of the content that was actually presented out there. And I believe you can even watch the keynotes live, recorded, so you can see that. So I take advantage of all that, kind of get the feel of, if you couldn't get there, you can get the feel of being there. So appreciate you listening. A special edition of Coffee with Kevin, and stay caffeinated out there.